What's going on, world? Welcome to another edition of the Principles Podcast. This is the sixth episode. My name is Kevin Jenkins, and I'm here with a special guest of mine, Vince Peterson. We both have a very special episode for you all today. One of my great friends that I've grown up with. I've known him since the high school days. He's an avid reader. He reads a lot in his own personal time. He also is a Forex trader. He does a lot of trading in his free time. So he's allowed himself to be able to create the freedom to be able to trade on his own time. He also is a co-owner of Afya Hair Solutions, which is a hair care line where he develops a variety of different pomades for men and I believe women. I'm not sure. I'm gonna let him talk on Afya as we get further into this episode. So I definitely think this is a great person. He has a lot of great value and a special person in my life who I've developed a great friendship with. So welcome everyone, Vince Peterson. What's up? What's going on, family?
What's up? What's up, man? Hey, I appreciate the introduction, man. It's been a long time, bro. Like,
Yeah,
it's my 10th year being out of high school. It's crazy.
for real. It has,
But
man. It
yeah,
has. It's great to see the journey between both of us and
definitely.
in our personal lives, in business. We're doing a lot of positive things, and
Mhm,
I already know, man, it's only up from here. So I kind
definitely.
of wanted to start this conversation off with tell the world a little bit about yourself and kind of your journey into entrepreneurship.
Yeah. So I I feel like everybody to a certain extent has had like the entrepreneurial bug at some point in their life, especially now dealing with like the current circumstances of society with the pandemic.
Hmm.
But like for me, growing up as a kid, I always felt like I had my hands in something like that was kind of outside the ordinary. I was always trying to figure something out, how to do things kind of outside the ordinary, contrary to what most people do. And that's what I would say kind of sparked me to have an open mind to entrepreneurship. Like I've worked multiple jobs across multiple industries, from transportation to healthcare to food to customer service, women's shoes to men's shoes, all types of stuff. But nothing
Hmm.
really. I felt like nothing really stuck with me.
Hmm.
Like as far as those jobs, those are just odd jobs. But at the same time, I've always wanted to have, and you've heard this, like your free time. You know that 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 time that you can use to create something for your own versus working a job. And there's nothing wrong with working a job, nothing wrong with having like a 9 to 5, like a solid career. I just wanted to do things a little bit differently, and it's been hard as hell. Like I'm still in the process of figuring some things out.
Yeah.
And like early on, I got exposed to network marketing, which
Hmm.
is pretty much like multi-level marketing that it's word of mouth advertising. You see something, it makes sense, you love it, you share it, and pretty much you get paid for it. I kind of got started into entrepreneurship that way, and across again like a couple different businesses, a couple different companies. Some I was moderately successful in,
Hmm.
but for the most part, I kind of got nowhere.
Hmm.
And maybe 5, 6 companies, over the course of like 4 or 5 years.
Hmm.
And just with like throughout that whole process, I never stopped trying to figure out like my lane, like what my vehicle is going to be to get to leverage my time back,
Hmm.
right? So one day, randomly on Facebook, I seen a post of someone sitting at their table eating breakfast, and there was MetaTrader, the app that you can trade trade
Yeah, I
trade
remember you
from.
telling me about
So
MetaTrader.
MetaTrader was open, and this person had a couple positions, you know, flowing, and they were up like $300-400. I didn't know what it was at the time. I'm like, what the hell is this? Is this like stocks or something?
Yeah.
But it piqued my interest,
Hmm.
and I from there, like, I just started to dive in more and more. Me and actually a buddy of mine, CJ,
Hmm.
me and him, because we were always like hand in hand when it came to like the network marketing businesses. Whatever I came across that made sense, I'm passing it to him. Vice versa. He come across some info, passing it to me. So it was the same thing when it came to Forex, and we just started to do research and gain knowledge and seek out mentors. And yeah, it's been 5 years. 5 years since I first really started to dive into the markets.
Yeah. So I always wanted to ask you, what made you exactly leave from network marketing? Was it you felt that it really wasn't your lane and you wanted to find something you had more of a passion of an interest in, and you felt like Forex was something you exactly had, an interest or a passion in? Was that one of the reasons why you just left the network marketing field?
Well, so one of the reasons why, and I think the network marketing helped out in a lot of areas from, building trust, building relationships,
Mm-hmm.
being um,
Networking.
talking more effectively as I'm stuttering now, but talking more effectively. So
Yeah.
it definitely helped out. But one of the reasons for why I left was just because of the constant recruitment. I felt like it was
Mm-hmm.
it was more so focused on just bringing people into whatever it is that I was presenting, and not actually on whatever it was, like whatever the
The
product
product
or
and
the service
service.
was.
Yeah.
And it was more of a sign up game,
Yeah.
and I was putting out more money than bringing in at the time.
Mm-hmm.
So it just ultimately, it kind of left a bad taste in my mouth, and on top of that, the company ended up, I think, going bankrupt or something. So
Yeah, it's crazy because I've been recruited by so many network marketing companies, man. It's
mhm,
insane. But I have the same perspective on it as you. I feel like a lot of network marketing companies, they're focused more on recruiting people, which is
mhm,
nothing wrong with recruiting people and bringing them into the business. But
right,
sometimes certain companies can become jaded where they're not focused on the product or service. They're not focused on the brand of the value that they're bringing to the consumer. It's just more of a sign up game. And in order for you to progress or develop through their hierarchy or whatever the system is, you
mhm,
have to find people. And it's just, I'm more the person, that's why I think that my lane is financial planning and
right,
wanting to give people education on financial literacy. And if they want to buy products or services from me, of course I'm licensed in those products and I'm willing to
right,
give them that value. But I think that, man, when you get into network marketing, it becomes a recruiting game. And I think that, yes, recruiting is a vital part of building a business, building a brand. But
mhm,
a lot of network marketing, a lot of companies out there, I don't like it. Me personally, I don't know.
yeah, same,
I like more of kind of like what you're doing. You're controlling your time and freedom. You do trading on your own. And, I do trading also, within the stock market myself. So
mhm,
I like it more from that perspective. And I teach the people that I want to teach. I bring the value to the people that want the value. So I
right,
totally agree with you on that, man. And I think that you're in a great lane with trading in the Forex markets, which leads to my next question. So I wanted to ask you,
mhm.
what do you like the most in comparison to the Forex market, to the stock market? Now, I know you have more knowledge into Forex, so if you want to just talk from that perspective of why you like it the most,
Mhm.
that's fine. But kind of just wanted to kind of get your understanding of why you pick that over, using your time or investing your money in the stock market.
Uh, I would say one of the reasons is the volume.
Mm-hmm.
So for the forex market, the amount of trading volume on any given day is significantly higher than the stock market. So there, depending on the person, depending on how you trade, there could be more potential opportunities
Mm-hmm.
within the market.
Mm-hmm.
Alternatively, there could be more risk, but again, there's just more opportunity to increase the chances of taking profit.
Mm-hmm.
So that's one of the reasons. And also for me, like, it just makes sense. Like, I was able to grasp the concepts really well as far as, buying low, selling high, and understanding the flows of what I'm seeing.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what helped to gravitate me more towards forex.
Yeah, I agree, man. I think also just the cost of capital as far as
Yeah, yeah.
starting investment of if you want to invest in Forex, I've
Hmm.
read and I've seen it online, you can start a account for as low as $100. I
Yeah.
don't know what you started with when you first got started, but
Uh,
I think
I
I forgot you told me, but I don't know exactly what you started with. I don't know if it was some trial and error.
definitely, definitely trial and error. You know,
Yeah.
it's always like a continuous trial and error though.
Hmm.
Always, because you're always trying to see if because everything isn't 100% the same. So
Hmm.
you're always trying to see if whatever tools you're using in the market at a particular time makes sense to flow with whatever you're seeing or not.
Hmm.
But as far as my account, yeah, I mean, I've had multiple accounts. I've blown multiple accounts. My first account might have been $1,000. It might have been $1,000,
Hmm.
but that account's been going for a long time.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
been going for a while now. But yeah, like you said, you could literally start. You can start with as little as like $100, $200, $500, 1,000. But at the same time, it depends on your level of skill.
Still.
If you're able to sustain that 100, 200, 300, 500, 1,000, and then grow it.
Mhm. Yeah, I
So,
agree. Yeah, because I think with the stock market, it requires you to put more in to really get back a return of your investment. And,
mm,
for all of our viewers out there, I think that you have to decide what your financial goals and needs are and kind of,
right.
if you're more of a buy and hold long-term investor, then maybe the stock market is for you because you want
Mm,
more stability. You don't want to swing trade or day trade. And there are day traders in the stock market as well.
mm,
But it's just if you're doing it with Forex, it's more volume and you get more return of your investment because the cost of capital to start at first is not as much as the stock market. So you definitely have to do the research, but I think the Forex market, it provides many benefits when you look at it from that perspective. So I
right.
wanted to ask, explain what pips are for people out there that may not know what that term is in the Forex market.
Yeah, so I mean, pips is simply just the smallest percentage of the movement that the market creates.
Hmm.
Like
Yep.
it's the smallest price movement. So, and it's that it is it's how you measure your movement
Mhm.
within the
For sure.
markets. It's as simple as that.
No,
Hard way to
that's
measure.
true. Now, are you able to when you're looking at pips, do you use it to reference like your gains or losses whenever you're looking at your specific trading strategy, or is it just more of you kind of just look at it as this is the price movement of what's going on with this specific currency, and you
Mhm.
just kind of go off of whatever you feel. I'm sure you do your research behind the currency, but
Yeah.
do you use pips to kind of reference your gains or losses whenever you're looking at your trading strategy?
So the only time that I really reference pips when it comes to my gains and losses is when it comes to understanding what my risk versus what my reward is.
Okay.
So if I'm looking for a potential setup and the risk like on my the potential risk on my account and on that particular trade
Mhm.
doesn't outweigh the potential reward because of what I'm seeing, then I won't take the trade. But more so that is one of the times that like I will use pips,
Yeah.
to when it comes to my gains and losses, and just understanding a potential market to trade, because there's certain pairs that move faster than other pairs, and I meant to say currency pairs, not
Yeah.
markets, but
Yeah.
there's certain currency pairs that move faster or that move more than other currency pairs.
Mhm.
So I can also like use that insight and that knowledge when it comes to like my gains and losses and my trades. So
So is that how you determine the price movement? Also, when you're looking at a currency, kind of looking at the currency pairs being traded, do you look at anything as far as the size of the trade to determine the price movement? Like, what is that?
well, the
Uh,
size of the trade is dependent on me because I'm the
okay.
one that places the position in the market.
Market. Mhm.
But um, I think what you were asking is how I view the market, how I can take advantage of, right? So
Yeah.
pips do play a role in how I view certain things in the market, but overall, it's just price action,
Yeah.
literally technical analysis with some fundamental analysis. I do look at news events, current events that are going on in the market, which countries are increasing in value, with the currency versus decreasing.
Mm-hmm.
Does that answer your question?
Yeah, no, it does.
Okay.
Yeah, it answers it. So is along the lines of that, how do you evaluate the price movement to decide your entry points or even exit strategies? Do you kind of look at the price movement to decide when you're going to enter into a currency pair, or even if you're trying to exit out of a currency pair, if you decide, okay, this isn't really moving the way I want it to move, what is that strategy like when you're evaluating the price movement?
Right. So that goes back to what I was just saying about like fundamental analysis and technical analysis, using the parameters that and also my trading style, like the way that I've been taught and how I've crafted my own trading style, using the parameters that TradingView gives me. I'm able to use technical analysis, which is literally what the market is showing you, like what the charts are showing you, and then using those tools that TradingView gives you to increase, a potential trade setup, to increase the potential reward, to lessen the risk.
Yeah, and I agree. And I think for all of the viewers out there, the biggest thing that Vince is saying is that you also want to make sure that you're researching the companies, making sure that you're analyzing what the companies are doing behind the scenes. Whether you're
not the companies,
oh yeah,
is I know
I was
you.
thinking about the stock market for a minute. I was thinking about the stock market for a minute. The currency, looking at the currency pair.
Right,
Pair. Okay.
Just the currency pair, and you always want to see what little insight you can gain to just get the advantages for how you could potentially, see the market that you might not have seen if you weren't as in depth into the craft, as in depth into trading. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's just like little things that can help you along your trading journey.
Yeah, you're right, and that's my corrections on that. Sometimes I don't know. I think I'll be thinking about the stock market, and
No, it's okay.
we talking about Forex. I mean, they both have similarities, but they're very different too in the way of how you trade on whichever exchange that you're working on. So
yeah,
I
definitely.
want to talk about fundamental analysis real quick. I know with the stock market, you have different ratios you can use when you're doing fundamental analysis. So you have like price earnings ratio when you're trying to look at the market value of the stock and you're trying to see if it's undervalued or overvalued. I wanted to know, are there any, when you're doing your fundamental analysis, when you're looking at a currency pair and you're trying to decide, okay, is this a good investment? Are you going through any ratios or anything like that that you would do in the stock market where you're trying to pinpoint and look at different financial indicators to decide if it's a great investment? What specific fundamental analysis are you doing when you're looking at a trade?
Well, okay. So the thing is that everything is kind of on an as need basis. Okay. So I don't always utilize fundamental analysis with every trade that I'm taking, because every situation is different, and every news event doesn't drastically impact the market. Yeah. So there's only certain fundamental analysis that I'm looking for that can help to give me insight with whatever currency pair that I'm looking at. So for example, if I'm looking at a pair that, for like a Australian dollar against the US dollar, AUD USD, I'm going to see if there's any major, US news events coming out. What's going on with the US economy? How are US businesses doing? How are the top 30, businesses doing in the US? Like things that can help to give me insight with what I'm potentially seeing already in the market. So if fundamental analysis backs up my technical analysis, then I'm solid. It's just more validation at different times, at different periods.
Yeah, so I agree. I think that every situation is different. You kind of, for all of my traders out there, you kind of got to decide when you want to use fundamental and technical analysis and kind of use it at your own discretion on kind of go with your gut on what you think is better. But I think when I'm looking in the stock market and I'm looking at a trade, I'm looking at an index fund, I'm always going to look at the chart first. Because if you look at the chart, you can really see, okay, you can track it over a 10-year period, 5-year period, and you can really see, is it going up or is it going down? To me, it's that simple. I think sometimes we overcomplicate looking at a chart and using technical analysis, but really, if you're seeing it going up, and I guess situations could be different if you're day trading and you're trying to short term make a quick come up and sell whatever the currency pair is if you're in the Forex market. But I think technical analysis, you can't go wrong with that because you can really look at a chart and see, okay, is this over a long period of time? Is it growing or is it decreasing? Would you attest to that, or would you say you lean more to technical analysis when you're looking at your trade?
Like over the course of like a longer period of time, you mean?
Yeah, it could be, I mean, I know it may be different if you're day trading. You may not be looking over 5 years. You may be looking over the last week or what it did in the last 24 hours. But are you focused more on your technical analysis more than your fundamental analysis most of the time? Would you say that's what your approach is?
At this point in time, yes.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah,
Just because I mean prices are always going to tell a story. It's always going to tell what's going on, and if it's unclear at a specific time, you can either try to get a bigger picture and a bigger perspective of what's going on, or just wait. The market doesn't always have to move when you say move.
Yeah.
So I would say technical analysis definitely over fundamental analysis. Fundamental for me though, as a trader, like fundamental is still relevant. Yeah. But for me, technical.
No, I agree. I think I've been getting better with more technical analysis. I look more at the charts too when I'm looking at the stock market and I'm trading. Just because, like you said, man, the price points, what is done over whatever period of time you're looking at, it tells the story. You can really look to see, okay, what has this currency pair done over a certain period of time, whether it's the Forex market or if you're looking in the stock market, you're looking at what this company has done over whatever period of time. So I agree, man. So what are the main differences between Forex and the stock market? I know, we talked about volume earlier, in the discussion, and I think that, volume is one, but kind of talk on the time differences. I can talk at it from my perspective with the stock market as far as when it opens and closes, but for the viewers out there that may not know when the Forex market opens and close, kind of talk on that and just how trading is different. Like I know we discussed in the past how with Forex, you're kind of simultaneously buying one currency and selling the other. Just kind of talk about that process of, how different it is compared to the stock market as far as, just.
So I mean, the thing is, and another point that I didn't make earlier that is a little bit more attractive about the Forex market over the stock market, in my opinion, is the times. So, Sunday at 5, the market's open, starting with Sydney session over in Australia, and it ends, or the market begins to slow down, about 2-3 o'clock, but it closes 5 on Friday. So it's open from Sunday 5 all the way to Friday 5. So that throughout that whole time you can trade, right? Mm-hmm. Versus the stock market, it's only open from whenever New York opens to close, like 8:30 to 5, 8:30 to 4:30, whenever that closes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So that, like, in that aspect, like you can trade at any time. So if you want to trade, if you trade like a currency pair that has the Aussie dollar and the Japanese yen, you may trade into the evening versus into the morning time. And for some traders that's more convenient. The schedule can be really, really, really flexible at times also.
Yeah, I think the flexibility is big. And You know, when Vince says the session opens Sunday at 5 to Friday at 5, that 24-hour period from Sunday to Friday, you could be on there at nighttime. You can get off work. If you got a 9 to 5, you can be on it in the evening.
Right.
So I love the flexibility, and that's kind of why I want to do more research and learn more about the Forex market. Because for people that are doing a 9 to 5, you really can't trade until you get off of, you can't, if you in the stock market, you can't really trade at all until
The morning time.
yeah, until the morning.
Right.
Yeah, you can get it in early in the morning and place a trade for like right at 9. But for the Forex, if you're doing a 9 to 5, you know, it gives you the flexibility to get to it when you get off of work. So I
Right,
love
because the sessions, right, because the sessions, a session just means that there are two countries doing business like at the same time. So it's more volume during a particular session. So it's almost like, okay, you know, New York opens at 8:30. So that's almost like it's like the US dollar's time to shine, right? So it's more volume with pairs that involve the US dollar, you know, versus Sydney. There's more volume with pairs that have the Aussie dollar, you know. So
yeah. So
that's like more of a benefit when it comes to sessions.
yeah, no, I agree. I think that it gives you a lot of great flexibility. So can you kind of talk on, you know, when it's mentioned about how Forex, you're simultaneously buying one currency and selling the other. Can you talk about how that process is in the market? I know when we talked about this in the past, you said it's not exactly like you're buying one currency and selling the other, like you personally. Rather, in order for the market to go up or down, one person has to buy the currency and another has to sell. So can you kind of explain what that process of
Right. So it's not just person because there's multiple
people?
traders. You know, it could be me, you know, this bank over there, this financial institution over here. So there's multiple players within the market, and that's one thing to understand too. That sometimes these big pushes in the market are just for a random reason. You know, at times, you know, financial institutions, they have the equities sometimes to move markets drastically. You know, so just understanding that the concepts are, you know, in order for my trade to be initiated, there has to be another trade initiated, like kind of not necessarily simultaneously, but it's like in order for the market to keep going up in a bullish market, someone has to buy higher than you,
Mm-hmm.
or there has to be another trade that's initiated, you know, in order for the market to continue up simultaneously. In order for it to keep going down, there has to be an additional trade that's placed to continue that momentum, to continue that structure, you know, to continue that flow.
Yeah, no, I agree.
And
Oh, you
and
can.
the reason why, oh, well, I was gonna say this is that, like, the reason why someone or some institution may buy at a higher price or sell at a lower price is because of like different perspectives within the market, which also attributes to why there's different types of traders, like a swing trader, a day trader, a scalper. You
Scalper.
know, everybody has a different perspective as far as what is high and what is low. So that also contributes to price movement, like the
Yeah,
fluctuations.
yeah, I agree. No, I thank you for explaining that. And I did want our audience to know when it comes to the volume in the Forex market that we're talking on, I kind of looked at some research on, you know, what's the volume difference between Forex and the stock market. And the foreign exchange market is the largest financial market. Forex, they have about 6.6 trillion. That's the average that's being traded each day. Whereas with the stock market, it's only about 200 billion per day. So it's definitely a lot of volume, and kind of like what Vince explained, with how the currencies are moving based on, you know, what other traders are doing in the market. That all plays a factor on, you know, the volume and also just the price movement in general. So I wanted to ask you, I don't know if you mentioned it in the previous question, but how exactly do you use technical analysis when you're analyzing the chart in the Forex market? Is there anything you're looking for when you're looking at a chart to see, okay, well, this company is doing terrible, or I mean, not this company, this currency is doing terrible, or, this is a very good, whether it's the Australian dollar, it's the Japanese yen. How
Right.
do you value the currencies in whichever country you're looking at? What technical analysis, how are you, or exactly you're using that to analyze the chart? And
So it's as simple as looking at the market and seeing what you're seeing and not overthinking it.
okay.
Right. So if the market is steadily increasing, if you're seeing higher lows and higher highs being formed, what does that tell you? That's telling you that the market, to a certain degree, on whatever time frame that I'm looking at, is increasing in value. The momentum is going bullish.
Mm-hmm.
So exhaustion, right? Like that can be like a tail sign in certain areas at a particular time. That can give me reasons to utilize, a random line, a trend line, you know, Fibonacci retracements. It just depends as far as where the market is, and then using the simple concepts that you sell low, you buy high, and breaking down the overall picture, the overall perspective into the most like minute, and like understanding that the flows have to flow a certain way in order for me to take a trade.
Yeah.
Is that
So
making sense?
yeah, it does. Now, what is a fib line? Is that what you said? A fib line?
Yeah, it's just a tool.
A
It's
tool?
just a
Yeah.
tool to measure the retracement
Okay.
of a certain move.
Okay.
But even with that though, there's a lot to understand, probably more than what we got for this Zoom call, to
Yeah.
understand how to use a Fibonacci retracement tool effectively and when to use a Fibonacci retracement tool effectively.
Okay.
So, but I do use 80% of 90, almost 90% of the tools that TradingView gives me.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, it's good. You got to use those tools, man. I mean, it all helps with the analysis. I use a lot of tools too when I'm
but not,
working with
but not too many though. Is
yeah,
just enough to give me what I need to
yeah.
see, possible opportunities in the market.
Because you don't want to kind of like what you said, you don't want to overthink it or overguess. I feel like
Right.
if you try to use too much, you're gonna get confused. So kind of just pick a couple, tools or whichever trading platform you're using, and kind of just master those and kind of go from there. Don't try to do, 9 different things. It's only gonna confuse your trading strategy. So
Right.
I agree. I agree. So what are some good books for the audience that may be interested in learning more about the Forex market?
Good books. Well, one of the first books that I came across, I feel like it's a it's a base understanding of kind of what Forex is and certain principles. The Naked Forex. I purchased that book, 3-4 years ago, and again, it's just basic, basic strategies, basic understandings, and even like an author, Mark Douglas, The Disciplined Trader. That's an amazing
I heard about that
psychology
book. I heard that.
trading book.
I
Yeah, trading in the zone. That's another solid book as well by Mark Douglas. Um, Outside of that, I haven't really read too many trading books. It's really just those three, and even those, like I've only read to a certain level, because I only need to, like, for me at that point in time, just need to understand so much, you know.
Yeah, that disciplined trader, I'm gonna have to get that book because he's not talking specifically Forex. He's just saying
No,
trade,
right, trade
just
in
trading in
general.
general, just how to be
Right.
disciplined in your trading approach. Yeah, I need to get that one, man, because I want to get some more books that are just elevating my mind on just evaluating the markets, analyzing, being disciplined, because all of those things, being patient, all of those things are important. And trading the zone, I wonder what he's talking about in that book. That's probably a really good one as well. So I'm going.
Yeah, I mean, he's real big on psychology though. So it's about understanding kind of like the principles that I was telling you, but understanding what can cause price to move and how to flow with that accordingly, and how to exit your trades, and how to flow with your entries when it comes to seeing what you need to see.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. And I think that I wanted to ask you, I know when it comes to when I'm looking at, an investment in the stock market and I'm looking at a trade, I kind of have a predetermined price point as far as when I want to get in and when I want to get out.
Mm-hmm.
When you're looking at your currency pairs, do you have a predetermined price in your mind based off looking at the value after you've done your research on whatever the currency pair is? Do you have a predetermined price point and when you want to exit out, or if you just want to sit and hold? Like how is
Yeah,
the
yeah,
process?
yeah. It's more so just again using my technical analysis and identifying certain areas that I could potentially take in entry in or add.
Yeah, I got you. That's smart. So, one thing I also wanted to mention is, can you talk about just the patience and the practice you had before you even started getting to the level where you can trade on a daily basis on your own time? Uh, Talk about how you started with a demo account and how long you practiced before you even jumped into a live account. Like, what's the importance of practicing before you actually, get into the fire and really start shooting for real?
So I mean the importance of the practice is literally the practice so that you can progress, because this is an area that you can very easily see success, but it's also an area that you can very very easily see losses.
Mm-hmm.
So I would say to any individual that wants to trade, whether it be forex or any market, forex, cryptos, futures, stocks, whatever,
Mm-hmm.
that you just take your time to understand the journey, to understand the growth, to be okay with the losses, to be okay with losing money, to be okay with like the time that you're putting in. You know, I I don't remember how long that I've been on demo, because I bounced. I was on demo, then I bounced off of demo, then I was on demo, and I was like, all right, to hell with it. I'm gonna just trade live, and if I lose the money, I'm gonna
Yeah.
just lose it. Then I'm gonna just refund my account. So, but
Mm-hmm.
eventually with that, that's what taught me patience. Literally the market was kicking my ass. So I'm like, okay, let me chill out. Let me try to understand, let me get like my knowledge together. Let me seek out the proper teachings, the proper tools so that I can protect my trading account and also build my bank account. So that's what helped to give me patience, along with, the books and, just listening to other traders and my own understandings.
Yeah. Now, can you also talk on like the mentoring you had as you started to develop your knowledge in the Forex market? Did you have any mentors? I know you've been involved with courses that
Yeah.
have expanded your knowledge. Kind of talk about your experience when you came to Fort Lauderdale and you kind of sat with other people that are being successful with with the Forex market. How important is mentors when you're trying to um, build your knowledge and whatever investing strategy you're
Mhm.
in whichever market? How
Yeah. I
important is
mean,
mentoring
I
business?
mean, I mean, when it comes to mentorship, that's always going to be key for whatever area you want to excel in. I
Mm-hmm.
feel so to any level you have to have or education and mentorship,
Mm-hmm.
because you got to learn and you have to learn from somebody.
Mm-hmm.
So I've since I've learned about forex markets in general, I've always had some sort of a mentor, from a friend that I came across on Facebook to a random person, and
Mm-hmm.
that's actually how I came across my current mentor, who's an amazing trader. He broke down the concepts to me about how to view the market the way I view the market now, and I was able to put my own spin on it. And I went to Fort Lauderdale earlier this year to gain more insight with him, with his in-person course.
Mm-hmm.
So, but that mentorship was key because, like for me, I can understand what I'm looking at, but I need details. I need more, like to understand why I'm seeing what I'm seeing or why I'm taking this opportunity, potential opportunity. So his mentorship, continuous mentorship, helps.
Yeah, I agree. You definitely need mentorship in whatever you're trying to succeed in life.
Mm.
So I wanted to transition this conversation to your other business that you are working on actively with Afya Hair Solutions. and wanted to ask, what was the reason why you and your co-founder, Ahmad Springer, why did you two decide to create Afya Hair Solutions?
Well, first off, that's my boy, so he, but that's never the only good reason, because sometimes that could be a really, really bad reason. But me and him have always had the opportunity to collab, to conversate about what we could create that is a clean, beneficial product to bring it to the market, and that could possibly help people in different areas. But he was the one that actually came to me with this idea, because he's a barber, and he was already thinking about creating like a hair oil. And he had brought it to my attention, and I'm like, okay, we can sit down on it. It's not 100% my area, but we can sit down and kick it on it. And we did, and it started to make sense. We had started getting in the lab. We started testing out products, testing out how we can get this oil into like a clean, again, really beneficial product. And we were able to achieve that, and that was almost a year ago. It was about 9.5 months ago, and since then we've been able to tack on three coming soon, 4 additional products with our line.
That's solid. Now, when you were testing the products, when y'all first were creating the different oils, were you all doing them yourselves, or were you taking it to an actual person that specialized in testing hair products? Like, how did the testing process work for you all?
Well, for us, it was a lot of trial and error on our end. It was a lot of just trying to figure out what kind of combines with what, and what doesn't damage, someone's hair, someone's skin. So it was really all on us, and just our due diligence and our research. Because at the time, the capital wasn't there, so it was just us doing our due diligence.
And that's one thing I did want to add. It's not just a hair care line, but also a lot of their products are for the skin as well. So if you have any issues with your skin, you're trying to clear it up a lot more.
Get right.
You gotta get right with them, man. And Afya Hair Solutions, we're gonna make sure. I'm gonna make sure my boy drops the Instagram handles that he has online, so you all can go on there and hopefully go to their website and order some products. But if you try to get the waves like this, and you try to keep,
I know it's kind of rough out here, man. Corona set me back. I wasn't trying to get a cut. I just wanted to thug it out, but I'm gonna go ahead and get a cut within this next week or so, man.
Yeah. No, it took me like 3 months. It took me 3 months before I got a cut. So, man, I understand. I'm definitely a supporter of Afya, y'all. So I know it's a great product. It's great entrepreneurs. So definitely support. If you all can go and look at their accounts, we'll drop that information at the end of this podcast. So the next question I wanted to ask is, what is your vision? It doesn't have to be 5 year. I was going to say, what's your 5-year plan for Forex and both Afya Hair Solutions, but just long term, what's your vision for both your trading account of what you do with Forex and what you want to build with Afya with Ahmad?
Well, first is like the foundation, which is currently what I'm doing now. 5 years, I definitely see myself having a trading, more so solidified with my trading account, and even teaching. Because I'm working on getting my foundation together, so I can be able to give insights to other people, to help other people create a steady income flow for themselves. So that's not, without going into too much detail, it's just solid, and being able to give people education, like an educational platform almost. And even with Afya, again, building that foundation now to get ourselves even into the retail space. That would be amazing for Afya Hair Solutions. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So just constantly working towards those. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, it does. You definitely answered
Without
it.
like going into too much detail.
No, you answered it. That's right on, man. I wanted everyone to know that, whatever your foundation is, I know for us, we're building our foundation, with Vince's Forex, mine's, of course, is, financial planning, creating a financial planning business. I invest myself as well. So I think, you got to find out your foundation. I don't know what it is for you. It may be, you may like to write. You may like to create content, whatever it is, you have to create a foundation so you can have something that you can build on and that you can be able to give more value to whatever your consumer base is. So,
And
um,
even like I'm gonna just chime in, like even leveraging that capital like
everything.
into more investments, into other markets, into real estate,
Yep.
another piece that I'm working on, with some partners. So just making sure that you are not only making profit, but taking that profit and putting it into somewhere else, to create more profit.
Yep. Because at the end of the day, the leverage is going to give you the time and the freedom. It's going to give you financial freedom.
Oh
So
yeah,
you want to
definitely.
be able, like Vince said, you want to have multiple streams of income. You want to have one hustle. You want to have your foundation, but that foundation is going to fund your other ideas. I mean, we all have so many gifts that we can offer to the world that it would be a shame to only operate in one thing and not do nothing else. So build your foundation, create multiple streams of income, and it's gonna give you the leverage, like he's saying, to create the time and the financial freedom that we all are working towards. So
Definitely.
um, I agree with you, man. So I wanted to ask, like, what is your daily routine? What does it look like when you wake up in the morning and you're going throughout your day? What does that look like?
So the main thing for me is just to make sure, and this is again a constant work in progress, because to shift from a 9 to 5 type of job into maintaining like my own routine, my own schedule, it could be it
So,
could be kind of hard, because you can, well, okay, I'll do this later, or I'll do that later, or whatever. So,
yep.
but so sticking to a routine is like really, really, really key. And again, a constant work in progress. But just to make sure that I'm up and prepared for the day, that's the main thing, and thanking God for waking up, like, because without that, I'm not here, I'm not able to be on the charts. But to just be up, to be prepared, to be alert, make sure I got a peace of mind, making sure like I'm good. First things first. Like I literally woke up the same way I went to sleep.
Mm-hmm.
I'm alert, I'm prepared, and I'm level headed. I'm level headed because if I'm not level headed, then I shouldn't be on the charts. I shouldn't be trying to do things that will be considered to be like productive. I need to get myself together. I need to, take deeper breaths. I need to meditate for a minute. I need to, calm myself down before I can continue with my day, if that's the case. But not the case. I just continue on. I'm on the charts, checking emails, seeing what needs to be done for my businesses for the day. Get into a workout, and after that, I'm into breakfast and I'm off with my day.
Yep. I agree. And I think that, a great book, me and Vince has read it. I know Ahmad has read it. If you're trying to look at, how to develop a good routine, The Millionaire Morning, I forgot who the author was.
I
But
can look it
I'll
up.
make sure I'll make sure to put it in the show notes because I want to put the other books that you recommended so our viewers can have some books that kind of go towards. But the Millionaire Morning, excellent book. And one thing that stood out to me when it comes to a routine is having a vision of how your day is going to go. You want to have that the night before. So what I like to do, sometimes I'll write out what I'm going to do on Sundays for the entire week, and I have kind of like a week. I have a daily kind of vision of how I want Monday to go, how I want Tuesday to go. So I think you got to have that vision. And if you're trying to look at, how do you develop a millionaire morning, I'll put the author in, I'll put the book recommendation in the show notes, but I think that's a great book when you're trying to figure out a good routine
Yeah,
to get your morning. You got
I'll
that? You
actually
looking
send
it up?
you. Well, I'll send you the link, because remember, it's a free book. You just
Yeah.
gotta input your email with the link. So I'll find the link and I'll send it over.
Okay, that works. That works. So the last thing, we're just about wrapping it up. The last thing I did want to ask you is, why is entrepreneurship so important, and why should people get started on creating a business today?
Okay, so that's an interesting question because I feel like that everybody isn't cut out to be an entrepreneur or even aspire to be an entrepreneur. Like I still consider myself like an aspiring entrepreneur because there's levels that I haven't tapped in with yet. Like I'm just attempting to even touch the ice, you know.
Yeah.
So I feel like everybody isn't there, but if you do have ideas, if you do have even the thought of, well, I wonder if this could work, just fuck it, just do it. You know, like attempt to do it, try to figure out how you can get the cash to start up, to fund your idea, or to tap in with trading. So I would say just go for it if you have that, like, the entrepreneur bug, you know, but understand yourself. And if you don't understand yourself, then take time to understand who you are. Like, if you're not entrepreneurial, if you don't have entrepreneurial thoughts or like an entrepreneurial mindset, then you just might be that person to work a 9 to 5, you know, to help people. Because at the end of the day, we still need people within certain professions. We still need doctors. We still need lawyers. We still need, you know, to a certain extent, teachers, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So I would say it just depends on the person. But if you do have that itch, especially now within this time, definitely begin to tap in with it, because funding is open and available for, you know, different ideas for businesses that aren't receiving capital, like that aren't making money right now,
Money right now,
you know, and that need capital. So just take the time out to educate yourself, look at different resources, and go full-fledged with the idea if you do have like a business idea.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, we just was talking the other day about the grants that they're giving right now in the state of Michigan.
Right, yeah.
If you have an LLC, if you have a business. So I think that you got to do research, understanding what the states are offering. I know with everything going on with COVID, it is a lot more easier to receive funding for your business idea. And, you know, you have other avenues. You have, you know, venture capital, you have crowdfunding. There's really not an excuse to go out and get the money. It just starts with you. You got to put the work in, and you got to be committed, man. Like my boy Vince said, not everyone. I say I'm also an aspiring entrepreneur. Like I said, I have things that I work on. I create content, but I'm not at the level yet that I'm aspiring to be, you know. So I'm a work in progress as well. And I think that, you know, entrepreneurship isn't cut out for everyone. But I think that, like Vince said, if you have an entrepreneurial bug, if you want something, you see a problem, you want to bring change to it, man, go ahead, work at it and get it done. Don't make the excuse. And don't waste your whole life where you get older and you're like, damn, I should have did that when I was in my 20s. So get out, get to it, and the Lord is with you, and he'll grant you your wishes. But, you know, it's you know, I mean, faith without works is dead. You know, I think I believe in that scripture wholeheartedly, and I think that you got to put work behind your faith and your actions. So this was a great episode. Vince, I appreciate you so much. I thank you for taking the time, man, for just doing this episode with me on entrepreneurship. I think our viewers are really going to get insight on what we talked about with Forex. Even people that may be interested in getting into the hair and skin business. It's a great business that you all are doing with that. And I just want to tell you all, in the episode details, I'm going to put my link tree in there, so you all can listen to this podcast as well. It's on Apple Podcasts. It's on all platforms. My Instagram is Kev and Jenkins. So if you all can follow me on there, I drop content on a weekly basis. So I would appreciate your support. And Vince, did you want to give any of your social media outlets so people can go and follow you?
Yeah, so my Instagram is Vince_Peterson2, all lowercase, and also make sure y'all follow Afya Hair Solutions. That's all one word, AFYA Hair Solutions, and check out AfyaHairSolutions.com as well. So,
and that's on Instagram? And that's on Instagram, right?
Instagram, and then the website, and also Afya Hair Solutions on Facebook.
On Facebook. Yeah, definitely, y'all go check it out. Support my brother. And once again, I thank you all for tuning in to the 6th episode of the Principles
Yes,
Podcast.
sir.
And I hope you all take care.
Yes, sir.